Good evening, everyone. We'll be reading from our book, Strength for the Day, and our lesson today is entitled, Do You Love Jesus? We love him because he first loved us. 1 John 4, verse 19. When the question is asked, whose side are you standing on? I wish to respond, I'm standing on the Lord's side. Some people may not know that they have taken sides, but there are only two marshaled forces, those of good and those of evil. In this controversy between Christ and Satan, no human being can remain an onlooker. We are all active participants in a battle that rages every day. If you choose good and godly principles and obedience to God's law, this shows your loyalty to God. Act like a rogue, and Satan welcomes you with open arms because you are on his side. We serve whom we love. Because God calls us to witness of him, I like to ask people if they love the Lord. It can serve as a springboard into deeper spiritual conversations. I once asked a church sister, Do you love the Lord? She responded, What stupid question are you asking me? I replied, I just want to know if you love the Lord. She seemed upset. Well, you are asking me a very silly question, and a silly question deserves a silly answer. That ended the conversation. Then I met a businessman I knew and posed my question to him. Sir, do you love the Lord? His eyes lit up. Do I love the Lord? I most certainly love the Lord. He was delighted. I joyfully confessed, I love him too. And from that conversation, we began to speak about the signs of Christ's second coming. Aunt Glenn, my 90-year-old aunt, who is the matriarch of our family, asked me, How are things with you? I responded positively. As the phone conversation continued, I wanted to ask whether she still loved the Lord. So I posed my question to her. Aunt Glenn, do you love the Lord? Without any hesitation, she responded, There is no one else to love but him. Different answers to the same question. Some responses took the conversation deeper, and some answers ended the conversation. My friend, I ask you, do you love the Lord? I pray your response will be, Yes, I love him because he first loved me. Hyacinth B. Caleb. It is my hope that you have been encouraged and that you have been strengthened for the day. The title of our lesson was, Do You Love Jesus? And that's such an important question for us to consider as we go through our daily activities. As the lesson reminds us, there are two opposing forces, evil and good, and there are no onlookers in this battle. It's either you're on the side of good or the side of evil. And that's something that we also have to think about. Which side are we standing on? We have to also be cognizant of our responses. As you can tell, the author was very intentional about asking a very important question. Do you love the Lord? And that simple question elicited numerous responses. What kind of response would you have had if you were asked that question? It's unfortunate that the church sister had the harshest response, and it's also concerning as well. So this is for us to take stock of how we respond to questions. And a lovely question like that shouldn't have received a response that was so harsh and negative. So we have to be mindful of how we conduct ourselves, especially as Christians. We need to be cognizant of the fact that we represent Christ, and if we are aggressive, if we are sharp, it's not really sending a good signal. But all in all, it is an important question for us to ponder on. Do we love Jesus, and how are we showing that we love him? Are we doing what he has asked us to do? Are we lending a helpful hand to persons who are in need? Are we thinking of others before ourselves? Are we having that devotion with him? Are we worshiping him? Are we giving him our best? And that's a question for me as well. We're not perfect, and he doesn't ask us to be perfect, but we can make the necessary adjustments in our lives to please him, because ultimately it's not about pleasing man, it's about pleasing him. So, do you love Jesus? I love him, and I'm sure you do too. So let's do what we need to do to please him and make him happy, and make those around us happy as well. It is my hope that you have enjoyed the lesson today. I also hope that you have been strengthened for the day, and I hope that you've been encouraged. And if you have been, leave a comment, a like, a share, repost, whatever it is. Spread the message of encouragement and strength with your family members or friends who you know may be going through a rough patch or just need something to pick them up. Yeah, let's do that. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.